Okay, we are here at the inn at Palmetto Bluff in Bluffton, South Carolina, and they're having a food festival here. But I kind of got distracted I get distracted by shiny things, but I also get distracted by things that are really well crafted and are, what's the word? Old style. I mean, they're what would you call it, Corey?
More of a culinary tool, you can call it.
Yes.
Sweetgrass Baskets of early days.
Okay, this is, I'm sorry, let's do the formal introductions. This is Corey Alston. He's down from Charleston. He and his wife run a company, I don't know if that's going to pick up, called, oh it does, Sweetgrass Baskets. And they are in the city market down in Charleston, but they also do the festival circuit. So tell me about you. A lot of people in the rest of the country who've never been to Low Country don't know anything about the baskets and the sweetgrass weaving. So
I'll give you a little history on it.
Okay.
A little brief history. It is a craft that came to America during slavery. It was brought to America for the cultivating of rice. We make a style today known as the rice fanning basket. It was used for cleaning rice or whittling rice. And what that was used for is actually tossing rice in the air and the wind blew the shaft away. The reason why it's nowhere else now in America is because the way it's been kept alive. It is a craft that's been passed down from the older generation to the younger generation, and that is basically one of the ways you can only learn. We make some patterns of older style, older traditional patterns, and we also do some more modern patterns or contemporary styles as well. But the traditional styles are something that was actually used more functional during days of slavery. We use 4 different grasses. The darker grass is bulrush, the lighter grass is sweetgrass. The red coloring that you may see in some of them is from pine needle, the long leaf pine needle. And your palm Sunday materials will be used to hold all of them together, your palmetto leaf. Those natural grasses are very durable. If you did want to use them for foods, it'd be no problem. They are natural grasses from the marshland. You can rinse them out if you like. It is a tool, but some people choose just to use it as art.
Okay.
But it can be a working tool. It's supposed to be a working tool.
Do you find that people are kind of afraid to use it to put food on it, to really use it?
Most people are afraid to use it, and the reason why I feel they're afraid to use it is because they don't know the history behind it and what it was used for. If you know what it was used for, then I think, my opinion, people may use it more. And that's something that people just don't realize, that it's a working tool, not just artwork.
Okay, let's go. So Corey's gonna tell us about different styles, the different baskets that are on display. So, for instance, like this basket.
Something like that would be nice for your rings, your keys, your chains, your jewelry, little candy dish maybe. This pattern here would be more a newer style or contemporary pattern. Days of slavery, they didn't make anything small. It just wasn't useful.
Right.
But this would definitely be something more modern.
Okay.
Now we have some patterns like this one here, known as a traditional bread basket. Now this would have been more of a older pattern used for breads or rolls or what have you. Also can put a nice little casserole dish in it maybe. Right, and this will be more of an older style.
Okay.
Now we also have another traditional piece here. And the reason why it's called more traditional, it's not as decorative, it's not as fancy as some of the others. And this would be more of a traditional bowl as well.
Okay.
Now we use some patterns, like the ones with handles on them, like something like this, more known as an egg basket, for gathering eggs or fruits or whatnot. And this has a handle on it called more of a twist handle or the cobra handle.
Oh, the cobra handle, because I heard you talking about the rainbow handle earlier.
Yes, we have different style handles. The most traditional handle will be known as a working handle or a market basket handle, and it was more used for gathering fruits and vegetables, like this one right here. This is more known as a working style handle with the 3 rows going straight across it.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Oh, there are 3 rows. Okay. Now let's talk about the roses, because the roses here are...
Now the roses, to be honest with you, are not a part of Sweetgrass Baskets.
Okay.
The reason why we make the roses is because it is a material that we use. It's the same tree, that palmetto tree there, and it's what we use to hold the baskets together.
Okay.
Roses really have another meaning known as the Confederate roses. And the purpose of a Confederate rose of earlier days during slavery, not slavery, early days of wartime, the wives made the roses, gave them to their husbands as a token of love, and when he went out to sea and came back, he returned the rose to her as far as a token of love.
Okay.
The similarity between the roses and Gullah Sweetgrass baskets is we use the palmetto leaves to hold the basket together, and that's also the same material that we use to make the roses.
Okay, because you know, of course, anybody visiting, any tourist going to Charleston for the first time and going to the market or going down on the Battery, you have the kids who are selling the roses, and so they're, you know, of everything that you have here, there might be people who are just more familiar with the roses, you know, because of that.
Well, the proper name for the rose is a Confederate rose.
Okay.
Or rose, palmetto rose.
Oh, right,
would be the proper term of it. And it was roses that were made during days of Confederacy.
Okay.
Right here, both of these and those two up there. Now we do have a more newer style right here that a lot of people may recognize or may see, and it's known as the elephant ear.
The elephant ear.
And the elephant ear is one continuous piece from start to finish, and it is held up on the legs of the basket, and the actual basket part of it does not sit on the table.
Right, I see that. I see that the bottoms of the ears are the legs of the piece.
Now this is more of a newer pattern. Now when I say new, nothing is yesterday new.
Right.
It's just not as traditional as the fanning basket. Right.
Okay. So tell me about you are what generation of?
Well, I will be in the 5th generation, and it's a craft that's been passed down from mother to child, or parent to child since slavery.
Okay.
It is a craft from the Mount Pleasant, South Carolina area. And I don't know if you travel to that area, you'll see stands up and down on 17
Yes.
North. And those are the original places that basket weaving baskets were sold. Now you also find them in the city market as well.
Right.
And that's where I'm located. I'm in the city market, right between the Daughters of Confederate Steps. That's off of Market and Meeting Street, in the front of the market. Right in the front, you'll see my bright smile. I'm always there.
All right. Well, I'll have to come down and see you. I just live a few blocks away.
Yes, ma'am.
So, all right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.